Hey there, speculators. It's Rod, your Futures Fanatic. Welcome back to the channel. Futures Fanatic is part of my company, Traders Dev Group. That's TDG, where we provide education for active futures traders and self-directed investors. Hey, in honor of my partnership and sponsorship of a live high-stakes poker stream this week called Hustler Casino Live. I talked about it on this video, and you can find out more about it in the description down below. I thought I'd do a little Rounders edition. Those are throwback. Everyone should know the movie Rounders with Matt Damon, famous poker movie. And given the synergies between poker and trading, I talked about it in this video. Thought I'd tell you a little bit about 5 tips that I've found can keep you in the trading game without getting your face bashed in. I talk to traders all the time, and everyone is focused on how quickly can I make X amount of dollars, and should I trade in a LLC professionally, or tax questions, or all kinds of other things. And don't get me wrong, that's all good stuff to consider. But the first thing you might want to do is stay in the game, produce that inevitable consistent profit. And let me tell you a few things that you might do to go about doing that. The first thing, folks, you just got to trade smaller. Okay, I preach this all the time. So if you're in a prop program, and a great one is Apex Trader Funding. In fact, stay tuned for some videos I'll do tomorrow, and check the description below for the promotion that we're running right now with Apex. Friday, Good Friday, the market's closed, and you're going to want to be aware of what Apex is doing on Good Friday, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. So the first thing you got to do is just trade smaller, especially if you're in these prop programs, okay? They talk about the notional value. In other words, get a $100,000 account or a $50,000 account. As I've said on many of my videos, that is a meaningless number, okay? The size of your account in those prop accounts, and the size that a lot of people should be trading, even if you're trading live and starting out, you are trading too large. That's the beauty of the micros. All you have to do is size down. You'll control risk a lot better. Just trade smaller. Trust me, the amount of contracts they tell you can trade, you're trading way too big if you're even trading half of those amount of contracts. You got to move down to the minis. You got to trade smaller while you're learning. The next thing is you got to trade the right product, okay? And if you're just starting out, what I have up on the screen here is the Dow Jones Micro Futures Contracts. The symbol is the MYM. This is only 50 cents a tick, 50 cents a point. There's no ticks in the Dow Jones. All right. This is a great place to learn. Okay. To learn how to manage risk. The best way to learn how to manage risk is to trade so small using the right product that's also small, a micro, and the smallest of the micros in the micro family, stock index futures, is the Dow Jones. So start with the right product, okay? Lots of people want to go to the NASDAQ. You can get there eventually. People like to trade, again, the full contracts, which are too big. I'm getting asked about Bitcoin futures and Ether futures. I like all those products. There's a new copper future. There's, of course, gold. There's crude. There's a lot of products to choose from. But the stock index micros, and especially the Dow Jones, is a great place to start. Partially because it's smaller, but also because it's only made up of 30 stocks and will tend to be a lot more controllable from a risk management standpoint. All right. So right here on this chart, if you're looking at here, from 34,520 down to 34,450, if you will, this whole move, which would look like a lot right here, is it's basically meaningless. Not even $50. Okay. It's not even $50 on the entire move. So trade smaller. Understand the size of the account you're actually trading, especially at the prop programs. Trade the right product. If you're just getting started out, try the Dow Jones. The second option would be something like the S&P. All right. By the way, if you are really new to futures, I would also encourage you to, while the supplies last, check the description below for my Futures Fanatic course. I used to sell this for $297, and hundreds of people gladly paid that and said I was not charging enough. Well, now it's free, okay? So you can get the entire Futures Fanatic Foundation course. Check the description below. It will go through all of the tick values, introduce you to the stock index futures, talk about the micros, give you some strategies, everything you need to get started in the futures market so that you'll be prepared to take advantage of the great deal that's going to be happening this Friday at Apex Trader Funding. You're going to want to know what this deal is. It's borderline crazy, honestly. All right, the next thing, you got to trade less, okay? Got to trade smaller, got to try the right product. You just have to trade less. How do you trade less? Well, a lot of people will gravitate towards trend trading strategies, and trend trading is fantastic. Markets will trend from time to time, and it seems like they've been going up seemingly forever, although finally here in 2022, we are getting some two-way price action. So One of the ways that I teach and train and explain to people how they can trade less is to have a strategy where you have less signals, less setups, less zones, less levels, okay? So over here on this chart right here, if I make this a little bigger for a moment, okay, this is called our range trader. And I know this might look a little busy, so I won't have time to go through everything here, but I want to focus your attention on this line right here. That's a prior session's high, and this line right here, which is a prior session low. And in all of the price action for today, that signal, those two levels were never touched, okay? So starting with the Dow Jones, smaller contract, using a strategy that doesn't produce a lot of signals. Can many people tolerate an entire trading day where they don't get a signal? Not everyone can, and you can certainly adjust to get involved in the market, not waiting for the optimal. If we use the poker term, you're not going to win if you only wait for pocket kings or pocket aces, right? You have to get in the game a little bit more often. But selling the previous high or buying the previous low is as close as you can get to pocket aces in the game of trading. And if you wait for those better hands and you generally play quality setups or wait for better hands, you're going to come out better in the long run, especially if you're up against top-notch competition, which the markets are the ultimate. They're the highest stakes. You know, the greatest thing about the markets, unlike poker, is in poker, you can actually start at lower stakes where your competition might be a little less skilled. As you move up in stakes, your skill has to increase because the bankrolls and the skill level of your competition increases. Well, guess what? The markets, you're going right into the highest stakes right from the very beginning, but you can choose, in terms of your competition, but you can choose the amount that you want to wager in each particular trade. All right. So trade less and potentially look at a strategy that does that for you. If you want to learn more about that strategy, again, grab the Futures Fanatic Foundation course. And also in the description below, you can find out how you can join me in my trade room for 10 days for $10. And I'll tell you all about this template, everything that's on here on TradingView. You can also get it for NinjaTrader. You can learn this strategy if you'd like. Okay, the next thing is to just simply scratch more trades. Scratch just simply means break even, okay? I have a methodology that's systematic and repeatable. I call it the graceful exit. I won't go into all of it here, but I'll explain it at a very high level. It's a very simple concept. I don't know why it is, but trades that tend to be profitable and will work out will do so immediately and profoundly. I kind of know why that is because I'll typically enter at places where the market's going to make a quick decision. So the ones that go in my favor, easy. It's not very difficult to manage winners. However, if they go immediately against me, I'm instantly not worried about where my stop is or where I'd add. I'm simply looking to see if there's a retracement or a move back to my entry level so I can just scratch. We call that a graceful exit. Try to do that in some of your trading. Even if you're entering a whole lot of orders, see how quickly, that doesn't mean moving your stop to break even, okay? It simply means literally scratching that trade if it gets back to your entry point, if essentially it immediately went against you. And then finally, this is probably the most important thing. Be realistic, everybody. Just be realistic, okay? I started the conversation today, or this video, about how often I get asked, you know, how big of an account do I need to produce this amount of profit, and when can I quit my job, and how long, and all those things. That's not the realistic approach. There's some great scenes in Rounders. There's one in a bathhouse where I think the other character's name is Kanish or Nish or something like that, and Mike, played by Matt Damon, comes in there. He's got his face all beat in, and he's looking for a loan. And his buddy says, look, I told you this was going to happen. You got to stay within your means. You know, how did this happen? So don't get your face bashed in. If you don't want to get your face bashed in, you have to take it slow and you have to be realistic. So one of the things that I've mentioned in many of my videos, I'll mention again here, is manage risk on a daily basis. Think about how much you can lose and should lose and when you need to cut it on a daily basis. But don't be concerned with your profits on a daily basis. Profits will take care of themselves. Begin to track how you're doing over a week or over a month. That's how professional traders think, and that's the way you're going to stay in the long game and not have the market just bash you in the face one day. If you think of profits in terms of weeks and months, think of losses in terms of that particular day, and just control and manage your risk. You'll be in good shape. Okay, all this week and next week, in conjunction with Apex Trader Funding, we are sponsoring this Hustler Casino Live trade stream or poker stream. It's exciting. There's tens of thousands of people watching it at any given time, so that's pretty cool. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check it out, because that will also have codes to where you can save on the Apex Trader Funding program. And again, I'll mention it one more time. Going to drop this video, I think, on the 13th or 14th, but on Good Friday, April 15th. If you're watching this anytime before then, check the description below and you can save a whole bunch of money on some of these Apex programs all day Friday, April 15th. If you're watching it any time after that, you can still check the description off, and I'll change the links to whatever is the best deal at the time. Okay, that's it. Don't get your face bashed in. Stay in the game. Trade smaller. Trade the right product. Trade less often. Scratch more trades. Be realistic about develop the amount of time it will take to develop this skill, and you will stay in the game and not have a face like this guy. Stay green. Trade like you mean it. We'll see you at the next one.